Hey, it's April 2nd. It's April 2nd. I know that's gonna bother you, so I'll move it. I guess working backwards. Today is Monday. It was a perfectly fine day. Mondays and Fridays are my longest day because I start teaching at 2:20 and I finish teaching at 9:05, and sometimes I get 5 minutes, 5-minute breaks. Theoretically, every hour I get a 5-minute break. But then, like, for example, I meant to get a 5-minute break in the middle of the first grade class, but I'm not going to leave 9 first graders in a classroom on their own. So I don't get a break. Whatever. Yesterday was Sunday. Sunday, I met Creighton. Honest to God, I know a man named Creighton. We hang. We met at a munch. He's lovely. I don't know. But I met him for like coffee, breakfast dish stuff. And then yesterday afternoon, evening, so then I went grocery shopping and errands and stuff. And on my way to do that, there were a bunch of obviously Christian little Korean kids outside of a church wearing white shirts and bravely going up to people. I mean, they were just going up to people and giving them hard-boiled eggs. But with me, they like spotted me on the way there into the grocery store, and I could see them whispering. And I was like, all right, fine. I get I'm like weird and new and puzzling. And then on my way back from the grocery store, they like spotted me and conferred again for a moment, and then bravely came up to me holding hands and in English said, "Happy Easter." And I was like, oh, bless. You used all your courage and all of your English together. I'm so proud. It was very cute. They gave me eggs. I have 2 hard-boiled eggs because the kid on each end had an egg. And then with all of my groceries, I went home and cooked up 2 big pots of food. One was beef and vegetables in like a maple honey soy sauce thing. All I know is Pam Fisher used it on the salmon before Yom Yisrael, the night before Yom Yisrael, in 2015. I found it in our Facebook message chats. And chicken with some vegetables and tomato sauce and some lactate, some milk. And both look really good, and I have some in the fridge for this week and some in the freezer because I'm trying to keep stockpile so that I can eat actual food even on nights when I don't really want to cook. I'm doing this adult thing. And my friend Matthew is leaving at the end of the month, and I am going to get his slow cooker, and then this will all be much easier. I'm very excited. Saturday was our Passover Seder. So, it was great. It was absolutely, there were some things that I felt were lacking, but honestly, Safta, most of them were the piano. The musical talents were limited. And there were 2 children there, both of whom, there's a Ukrainian Jew who married a Korean woman and their kid. They're now separated, so the wife wasn't there, but the Ukrainian guy and his kid. And then there's an Israeli-Korean couple, one Israeli, one Korean, and their 2 children, one of whom is 5 and one of whom doesn't talk. Very serious, very sweet, still angry about bibs. And it was, so they're both like, there's no Hebrew school to send them to, and Leo goes to Chabad, but his son doesn't often manage to come to Chabad and doesn't really want to. And Shelley is in no way on this planet would she take her children to Chabad, let alone go herself. So the kids don't have a whole lot of Jewish experience, and I think for both of them this was maybe their first or second Seder ever, which was very interesting. It was interesting to see, like, I'd never seen things explained I don't know, I feel like every kid I know that's already Jewish, they just know. So they explained, we sent them to go open the door for Elijah, and I believe to persuade them, Shelley said, he's Santa's friend. And I was like, you know what? Fine. You opened the door, he drank some wine, we're good. And then explaining to them about finding the Afikomen and why was also trick. Because the thing is, neither kid really speaks English very well at all. So I'm leading in English, but you know. Our Siddur was digital. We do, now that we know what's what, we want to edit it and print some copies for next year, get some copies bound. But in the meantime, it went really well. So for each passage, with a few exceptions that we hecked up on, everything was both in English and Korean. And for the Korean, they had Hebrew, transliteration of the Hebrew, and then a translation of the Hebrew in Korean. So the Koreans who read, I assume Anna can answer better, were able to very clearly follow along and to understand what was happening for each portion, which was good. We want to add Hebrew translations of all of the things, but we just didn't get that far yet, which is fine. It was year one, and it was really nice. There were a lot. We were 18, 16, 17, 18, something in that range altogether. The most common group was couples who were one Korean and one Jew, usually North American Jew. Although we had one couple who are both Jewish from Italy, but they live in Singapore. And their liberal rabbi, there's, I guess, Anna's in on this, like, liberal Jewish congregations in Asia network. That's, I mean, it's small, but it's starting up. So their rabbi knew about us and mentioned to them, oh, you should go. And just every comment I got was, this was so lovely, this was such a welcoming atmosphere, it was so enjoyable for both of us. And that's really what I was going for, not necessarily accurate. I mean, we had dessert after the Afikomen, and we went and watched a movie after that too, Prince of Egypt, as one does. And we had appetizers. I mean, we were snacking and munching all the way up until the meal, because it's a tasting bar, so he had like all these plates of salmon and hummus and olives and just little snacks, cheeses and so on. And then we cleared the cheese and brought out the meat. But what I was really hoping for was something that was a learning experience and a warm and welcome experience for everybody, and I think that's what we achieved, and I'm really glad. I'm thrilled. Especially for us to have done that the first year, where Anna is Jewish but didn't grow up Jewish, and the guy whose space it was, whose tasting bar we were renting, doesn't know kosher from anything. We did well. I'm proud of us. In other news, I have quit Korean class because we learned a whole bunch of things very abruptly. Like, I know 3 verb tenses, past, present, and future, and present continuous, actually, and how to say them in 2 different formality registers and 3 different levels of respect for each one. And it was a lot, but at the same time, I don't have a whole lot of vocabulary. I only know about 50 verbs and, I don't know, 100 nouns, which is not enough. So I quit. I might go back. I might do self-study. We'll see what happens. I'm also appreciating having those hours in the middle of the day to just not. Yeah, I don't think anything else in particular has really been happening. Christina left and went back home. So I had a few couch surfers over the weekend, and I think I don't have anyone couch surfing until the middle of April at least. So I've got a couple weeks on my own, which is nice. It's springy, I have the windows open, the weather is lovely. So yeah, this is an absurdly long video and I'm sorry. Also at the lack of frequency, I'm gonna try and get better at that. But I am nearly headed home. I love you all, I miss you, and I will try and be awake next time there's a holiday so you can vid chat me. But you know, you're welcome to call anytime. Love you, bye.